Welcome to The Culture. We rest at the pulse of the community, providing all things news, music, fashion, events, and everything that we talk about in between. It's a lifestyle. We are The Culture. Hi, and welcome to our show. I'm your host, Jessica Garrett Modkins, and joining us today is fashion designer and philanthropist, Miguel Wilson. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jessica. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing well. I'm so honored to have you here. I was thinking that we were going to talk fashion and all of the wonderful things that you are doing across the globe. And then I was made aware by one of my producers of all of the philanthropic things that you have done. So I want to start by talking about you are the co-founder of the first Black polo team at an HBCU. How great is that?
Yeah, amazing.
Yes, it is. Tell me about your journey there.
So, I fell in love with horses as a kid, and I grew up in Washington D.C. in the city, and my great grandmother paid for me to take riding lessons, and that I think that whole experience of going out to that barn on weekends, and I started working there, cleaning the barn and doing stuff with the horses for more lessons. It helped mold and shape me, but it also just exposed me to something very different than what I was used to in my home and in my neighborhood. So it showed me how other people live, and it was also, very peaceful. I think, as a kid growing up in inner city, uh, you lack peace. You go outside, it was always some type of problems, that you deal with, fighting and drugs, all kind of stuff. So going out to that barn was therapeutic, just to ride out there, seeing the environment change, trees, the houses, um, going from the concrete jungle to, a beautiful farm. And so I rode horses growing up, and I attribute that experience to kind of changing the direction in which I went, which a lot of kids I grew up with didn't have that same opportunity. And I wanted to be able to offer other kids that same type of situation. So I created a foundation called Ride to the Olympics, which helps inner city kids be exposed to horses and polo and all kind of other horse sports. And I decided to um, create the polo team at Morehouse in order to give the younger kids mentors at the college level. So through that process, that was the value and the benefit to me to helping to create that and supporting it. So um, today, we actually started a female team also now,
Oh, wow.
and working on doing some high school kids. So it's a process, but it's been fun, and the whole goal is to help give kids exposure.
Wow. I can't even imagine the level of awareness and the mind shift that's happening there at Morehouse. What do you see for the future? You are now have expanded it to women. How does that work? I think I read somewhere where you are actually a part or approved by the official association.
Yeah, so the Morehouse team uh, was certified as an official college team, and uh, so that officially made them the first HBCU polo team in history. So it's pretty historic. It was a big deal,
Yeah.
and but my vision and goal wasn't so much that, but more I really want to have kids who are in the inner city, who may not have the opportunities to do these types of things, and expose them. So, the team is great, and that's to help give more eyes on what we're doing on our foundation. But at the end of the day, it's more about the younger kids and changing their direction already. I mean, if a kid that's in college already, particularly a black male kid that's in college already, he's way ahead of a lot of these kids that we really have targeted. So, but I still wanted to be able to have them uh, be able to mentor and talk to the younger kids and be able to be an asset to them. Give them somebody to look up to other than just the local drug guy, or even the guys. A lot of kids when I'm around kids, they all, and you ask them what they want to do and who their heroes are. It's always related to sports, football, basketball for the most part. And everybody can't be a professional football player or basketball player, but I bet you we got some great kids out there who could be professional polo players.
Mhm.
Don't even know it
Awesome.
because lack of exposure.
Right. Right. You see it, you can be it. That's awesome. I congratulate you.
Thank you.
And I encourage other HBCUs to follow your lead, expand the offerings that they have at their institution. And then at your foundation, you're a fashion designer and you design and clothe some of very familiar household names. We'll get into that in a minute. But how did you even aspire to go into the world of fashion with that not necessarily being a field that most Black people can not only just clothe people, but be successful at it? And you've been in the game for a minute. How did you even come into your own?
Well, I was in love with fashion. I've always loved dressing. My grandfather. I mean, I'll show you. Right here, you can see this picture right here
Oh,
behind you.
oh,
Okay, camera right. Okay,
that's him sitting.
that's him sitting, and that's my father right there too. So they both have been a strong influence in fashion for me,
Hmm.
and so it was kind of in me from the beginning. However, my education was all around business stuff, so I studied business, and never studied fashion. And so my first um, exposure was I bought into and started a custom clothing company with very little knowledge and information. While I was working my job, I had a full-time job working for Pillsbury Food Company. And a friend of mine who sold me, I had my suits made, and the guy who sold me my suits, he and I went in business together and started our own custom clothing business. So that's how I got started. But clearly, I had a gift, and that's done well by me. God showed me, gives me a vision, and I'm able to do things, and people tend to like what we create. So that's the blessing.
Yes, tell us about some of the different celebrities that you've been able to dress. I think I read where you did Two Chain's wedding.
Yeah, I did Two Chains wedding.
And
I've
you
done
did
a lot. I've done a lot of the housewives of Atlanta. A lot of those where I did, Peter and Cynthia's wedding, Todd and Candy, Michael and Eva's wedding, um, Jamel Hill. I did Kim, the singer,
that.
chemistry. Done a lot of athletes, and I've dressed a lot of people. Bishop Jake. I've done a lot of people in business, politics. Um, yeah, we've been real fortunate to have reached a lot of people.
Hmm. And then you're the official clothier for Bentley Atlanta. Tell us
Yeah,
about that. I think that's a great.
yeah. So I started this event called the Atlanta Fashion and Polo Classic, and it is a party, a day party with one of my fashion shows and also a polo match. And I did that in order to help raise money for the foundation. And I approached I made clothes for the general manager at Bentley, a guy named Sid Barron, and approached Sid about being a sponsor for my polo event, and they did it the first year, and he said it was a great event for him, and they've been doing it with me every year since. So Bentley became a sponsor of my events and so forth, and then they approached me about making jacket. They wanted to do a signature jacket for. They have certain cars, limited edition cars they do, and so I create jackets for the guys who buy those types of cars. So a
Wow.
lot of times they'll come in, they'll get so they not only can drive around their Bentley, they can have their Bentley jacket on as well.
Yes, yes. So
Yeah,
Miguel Wilson design. And
right.
then you have your shop is in Phipps Plaza and it's been there for years. How long has it been there?
I've been in Phipps now for 6 years, but we also are now we have. I told you we have a showroom in Miami, in Coral Gables. We also are in National Harbor in
Mhm.
DMV, and we are opening now next month in New York.
Yes, and
Uh,
congratulations about that.
yeah, so
Who ends up opening additional establishments during a pandemic?
only God. Facts,
Yes, yes,
facts.
that part,
Yeah.
that part. And that was another one of my questions. How have you been able to pivot during the pandemic? Because I know that a lot of people aren't necessarily frequenting stores as they used to. What's your secret for being able to just prosper during this time?
Social media is a powerful tool. It's an amazing tool to me. I mean, from a marketing standpoint, I've been able to build a pretty good following, and I think that just from doing so much um out there, that a lot of people, pass our information on to their friends that get married and so forth. So it's kept us relevant, the social media aspect, and I think a lot of people who they're getting married. The thing is, they many people postpone or put it off, to get through the pandemic situation. But the weddings are back on now. A lot of people get every week pretty much. We have weddings pretty much every week now.
That's great. I mean, and I see you on Instagram. You just go live. You're
Yeah,
like, I'm going live.
yeah, yeah. We go live all the time.
I
Yeah,
love it. I
yeah.
love it.
Just so brides are probably the biggest supporter. Brides usually are the reason so many grooms come to us. Women will send uh, our page or pick up something to the groom and say, we want you to do him your. I would like Miguel to make your clothes for you, whatever. And we get guys coming in from all over the country for us to do their clothes. So it's amazing to me.
Yes, I love it. And then I want to go back to HBCUs for a second. You're a graduate of Clark Atlanta?
Yeah, I went to Bowie State College, Bowie State University rather, for 4 years, and I transferred my fifth year. So I was on a 5 year plan.
Hey, hey. End
So
result, all that matters.
yeah, and I graduated from Clark, and this that was an amazing experience for me. Moving from Washington area, first time moving away, I was a fifth year senior at Clark. So I fell in love with Atlanta during that time, and knew I'd have to get back to it at some point. So I opened my first showroom here, stores here in Atlanta.
Nice. How often are you here in Miami?
Every month or more.
Mhm.
You know, when I set out with the brand, I really wanted to develop my business in cities that I love, and I'm primarily East Coast guy. So I did. I'm now in all the cities I love the most. I do want to be in LA. I do want to be in Chicago, and I think I'd like to do something maybe in Houston or Dallas eventually. But we're in Miami, DC, Atlanta, and New York. So we got the East Coast covered right now.
Yes, you do. In all of those cities that's popping. Now I want to find out from you. How can we bring this fashion polo classic to Miami? I think that we need to do that because
Hmm.
you have an
Yeah,
audience here that is it desires the same type of opportunities that you provide in Atlanta.
you know, I'm actually looking to expand the Polo Classic to other markets. I want to partner with other organizations, though, in doing so. So, taking a local charity or maybe even a local, civic organization, or even, a business that may want to be a part of something like that, and partner with them to uh, use that as a means of growing. So once I've identified, it's more of a function of finding the right partner than anything to do it.
Right, right, right. Well, you heard him. He's looking for a partner. Let's rally behind him and
Right.
let's make it reality and have the Fashion Polo
Mhm.
Classic
Yeah.
Miami edition.
Yeah. So we're doing this year. We were planning on doing the DC Fashion Polo Classic,
Right.
but the riots. It was, we were doing it right on the National Mall, and the riots put an end to that because they kind of shut everything down. But next year we'll be back. We'll do it. We plan to do it on National Mall, DC Fashion Polo Classic, Atlanta Fashion Polo Classic, and I also would like to do. I think I want to do LA Fashion Polo Classic.
Nice.
Yeah, Miami would be great too. Yeah, I think Miami would be a great market to do this. Matter of fact, I'm playing polo there in the tournament there uh, next month. I have to tell you about it. You come on out and see.
Yes, I have to
Yeah,
come.
March.
I have to come by. Any fashion tips you want to leave our viewers with before you go?
Well, you know, first and foremost, follow me on YouTube, Miguel Wilson Collection on YouTube. You see a lot of fashion tips because I post a lot of things about how to tie bow ties, how to tie ties, pocket squares, coordinating with clothes, and so forth. But I'll tell you something that I find common amongst men. Two things. One, uh, men rarely, particularly when you get below New York, understand how to incorporate seasonal clothing. And seasonal clothing is such a big part of fashion. Like, if you just limit your clothing to just year-round clothes, you literally have eliminated 75% of some of the nicest things you could possibly wear. So I think the one thing I would tell guys is, each season try to pick up a couple pieces, whether it be for summer or whether it be for fall. Do some things that are season oriented. Nice cashmere sport coat, something like that, or a nice linen suit for the summer. Those types of things look so much nicer than you wearing just basic stuff. Second thing I would tell you is learn how to incorporate other colors. Men get stuck in black, gray, and blue. Now, I got blue on a day, but you see, I got to go pop a color right there and see. So I think a lot of times, guys don't venture into other colors. I think and it's so limiting because so many beautiful colors you can wear, and my closet is full of a variety of things. Whereas I think if you look at most other guys, I don't have a lot of clothes, but I have a lot of variety. Guys generally have a lot of clothes, but it's a lot of duplication,
Mm.
same stuff over and over again. You got four variations of blue suits, and four variations of gray suits, and so forth. So they lack uh, the versatility. So I can have pieces that I can mix and match and create tons of different looks using my clothes, and even incorporate, like I said, seasonal things. So two things: get you a couple seasonal pieces each season, and step out the box. Don't be afraid to try and incorporate some color.
Incorporate the colors. From Miguel Wilson's mouth to everybody's closet. Take his advice. I'm telling you. Thank you so much, Miguel, for joining us. We
Oh, it's been wonderful. Thank you, yes, I appreciate it.
and we look forward to keeping the connection and following your journey on social media.
Yeah.
I'll
Well,
make
I
sure
think
to put it on in the comment section so everybody can follow you.
I'm doing something. I'll tell you, I am doing. I haven't done a fashion show in over a year, and I am planning a phenomenal fashion show, black tie event
Nice.
in DC at the National Harbor on the water outside
Nice.
May 22nd. So just stay tuned. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll see the information. Miguel Wilson Collection. But this is going to be an epic occasion and event. You'll love it. All
Nice.
right.
Nice. Thank you again, Miguel, for joining us. And for all of you, make sure that you stop by tonight at 6 p.m. We'll be live and in person with My Two Cents. We'll get into all that's going on in the world today. Until next Friday, I'll see you again. Thanks.
Thank you.
The Culture is produced and owned by Hip Rock Star Media and cannot be reproduced or broadcast without written consent by Jessica Garrett Modkins. All rights reserved 2020.